Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Banking Digits. My name is Soikat Maji. Today we are going to discuss about UCP 600 Article 18. It's about commercial invoice. So let's go to the screen and start the video. So point number 1 of Article 18 states a commercial invoice must appear to have been issued by the beneficiary except as provided in Article 38. It means issuer of the commercial invoice should be the beneficiary only whose name is mentioned in the letter of credit beneficiary field. Any other third party cannot issue the invoice. Here also it is mentioned that there is one exception which is as per Article 38. Now what is Article 38? Article 38 says about transferable LC where LC can be transferred to a second beneficiary. So, as per Article 38, if LC is transferable, then second beneficiary will issue the invoice and present to transferring bank. And in case invoice is not substituted by the first beneficiary, then transferring bank will present the original invoice issued by the second beneficiary to LC issuing bank. Now, look at some ISBP clarifications also regarding invoice. ISBP C2 point number A says an invoice is to appear to have been issued by the beneficiary or in case of a transferred credit the second beneficiary. So who can issue the invoice? Only the beneficiary of the credit or the second beneficiary in case LC is transferable. Now what point number B of ISBP C2 says? Just read the point here. It means sometime any presentation may come where beneficiary has changed its name. Their invoice may be issued by the new name of the beneficiary. However, invoice should also evidence with words stating that formerly known as then the name of the original beneficiary which is mentioned in the credit. Now, point number 2 of UCP Article 18A says invoice must be made out in the name of the applicant except as provided in sub-article 38G. This point is also quite similar to previous point we have discussed related to beneficiary. It says invoice must be raised to applicant only, and here is also there is one exception which is in case of transferable LC. In case document is not substituted by transferring bank, then the name of the first beneficiary will appear under applicant fields because second beneficiary will raise the invoice on first beneficiary only. Anyways, we will have a detailed explanation when I'll upload the video for Article 38. Now, just look at the sample invoice here. Here, XYZ Limited is the beneficiary who has issued the invoice, and ABC Limited is the applicant. Okay. Now, we are moving to the next point, which is invoice must be made out in the same currency as the credit. I don't think any clarification required here. This is very simple clause. Next point number 4 is invoice need not be signed. Means signature on the invoice is not required as per UCP, not even a digital signature. What ISBP says, it needs to be dated also. Now question will arise that how will you identify whether invoice is original or not if signature is not there? For this clarification, please refer to my video on Article 70. Now, next point. A nominated bank acting on its nomination, a confirming bank if any, or the issuing bank may accept a commercial invoice issued for an amount in excess of the amount permitted by the credit, and its decision will be binding upon all parties provided the bank in question has not honored or negotiated for an amount in excess of that permitted by the credit. We will understand this by an example given below. Say for example, LC value is USD 10,000 and beneficiary presented invoice for USD 11,000. Then we cannot refuse the presentation stating that LC is overdrawn, but we can honor or negotiate only up to USD 10,000. Invoice value can be higher than the LC value, no issue in that. But here we have to look at the other documents also. What is the amount mentioned in the draft and presenting bank covering letter? Draft amount cannot be higher than the LC value. In case draft is presented for higher value, then we can refuse the presentation. Now, the last point of the article, it says the description of the goods, services or performance in a commercial invoice must correspond with that appearing in the credit. Along with this clause, you read what ISBP says also. Then we will see an example for better understanding. ISBP says the description of goods, services or performance shown on the invoice is to correspond with the description shown in the credit. There is no requirement for a mirror image. For example, details of goods may be stated in a number of areas within the invoice, which when read together represent a description of goods corresponding to that in the credit. Now look at the example. Here LC clause 45A says description of goods has to be 1 unit microwave model MX-7 on the invoice, and say for example we receive below invoice. You refer the image below, where good description is not mentioned like a mirror image of the LC, because under good description field it is only written that microwave 1 unit, that MX-7 these words model these words are missing. But here we need to read other place of the invoice also. Here we can see that on top of the good description field in invoice it is written that model MX-7. So when we read together, it represents all the words which is mentioned in LC clause 45A. So this invoice is acceptable. But remember, if any word is missing on the invoice, when we compare with the LC, then we need to quote the discrepancy. This article is completed now. Thank you for watching the video. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Also press the bell icon to get notifications about such videos in future. Thank you.